What's up, everybody? Back again. Warp Charge Gaming, James, Chris, and me, George. And we're here for another Thursday Night Talk Show, episode 67. We're doing it again.
Doing
How
things.
are ya? I know how Chris is because he's right next to me, and we've just been gaming. James, how are you?
I'm fantastic for the most part.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic's a good way to be, bro.
There's no other way to be, bro.
Nice. Mr. Fantastic. You know, if I was a X-Men character, I had to actually pick one once, and I was going to be Mr. Sinister. And
Well, that's a bad guy.
it kind of reminds me of Mr. Fantastic. I feel the same difference going on here.
Mr. Fantastic is definitely a good guy.
Yeah, Mr. Sinister's a good guy. He's got a cape, man.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. he helped that one dude, Apocalypse. He was like his right-hand man.
Super left-handed.
You know, I didn't even know who he was till Google enlightened me. So I'm a poser anyways. He just had a beard and he had a cape and it was an easy thing to match for Halloween, you know?
Yeah, like, if like the real bad guy was Hitler, like, Sinister was like Mussolini.
This isn't bolt action, bro.
Dude,
sorry,
it could be, though. It could be.
Store joke. I know not everyone that plays that game is Nazis, but a lot of people do play as Nazis in that game.
They're just trying to live out their fantasies, bro.
I have a strange opinion. It's just hard to trust a bolt action player, even though we do show their content on our channel. Recently, this past week, the first Fridays of every month, we give bolt action opportunity to show their stuff. And what do you know? I even have a flyer. Just talking about Nazis, guys, no big deals. No, we're talking about bolt action. See, the funny thing is in that game, the Nazis are kind of like especially good for like no good reason. It is they've called Hitler's buzzsaw, and they basically get like everybody else has to like achieve some sort of something to get their special benefit, but they just get it all the time because they're just always Nazis. But enough Nazi talk.
One way to start things off, bro.
You know, episode 67 is getting weirder and weirder. But yeah, we had Big Cleek join us already. He's like saying, "What's up, guys? For sending those dice out. Excited to see them in my Kill Team gaze." Oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah. You guys doing any Kill Team lately? We actually filmed Kill Team just before our 40K battle today. Chris and I just played a Kill Team game and then into 40K. Chris got to see the Pink Horror Demon craze I was talking about last week episode.
Cool stuff.
Pretty exciting. It was pretty cool. Chris brought a very, very cool cult list yet still.
Yeah, it was flamer heavy.
But it got its ass beat. I'm just assuming, but it got its ass beat.
Round one, yes, but that wasn't the better list.
Yeah.
Round two was me getting my shit kicked in. Round two, I felt way better about.
It was a good game.
That was a good game.
It was a good game.
We still lost.
And the good news, because, you know, when it comes to trying to win a tournament, it's one thing to win, but it's very important that you max, right? You need all the points. And that's the beautiful thing about the horrors is that there's so much passive scoring that exists. You don't have to kill the other person's stuff at all. Like, you barely have to do any sort of work. You're really just locking stuff up. If you kill something, great. But primarily, you're just scoring passively every turn. So I'm really excited for Kill Team at Nova Open. It's something I've been thinking a lot about and training for. I think I finally got the command roster kind of sealed in, and it's has a nice mix of Plague Bearers, Bloodletters, and Pink Horrors. And it's in a confusing way in the roster where you're not quite sure what I'll bring. And the biggest realization playing Chris today and just kind of having marinated is being excited about coming to terms with how many Pink Horrors to bring. Because last week I was talking about bringing 7 pink and 1 plague ridden, which makes an 8-man kill team. But it's highly important that like the way to beat that is that you make them break. You want to try to kill 5 models as quickly as possible to take them at more than half, and then causing a broken check with only a leadership 7. But when you get to that 10 model kill team or 12 model kill team, you hit that sweet spot where it's a lot harder for them to kill that many models.
A whole other extra model.
Yeah, and when you take 7 pink, that means that if the moment you lose 5, then you're going to be in jeopardy. So you're always like just you're playing aggressively with 4, but trying to keep 3 others from being engaged with. So So it's much easier just to exchange those for plague bearers that are some of the tougher staying power bodies to kill.
Having extra bodies definitely lets you really maximize the utility on the pink horrors and let them play them much more aggressively.
And you see some strength 3 out there. You can like target it with your toughness 4 to get them on the 5s, and it just makes it. You basically getting the 10 models is the clutch part, and you're never going to try to have more than 4 horrors get in jeopardy. So you might as well not take more than 4 horrors or 5 horrors if you don't have a 10-man team. So really excited about that, man. It's gonna be awesome. On top of that, we're training for Nova. For James, you're coming. We got the Nova trios that we're all 3 playing together, and then we have the 40K GT as well that you guys will be participating in.
Yeah.
I know Chris is trying to hone in. I'm happy to say I found my sweet spot. I just finally took Chris down after many defeats. I took him down, James. A lot of it, tri points are what are becoming something that is I'm more internalized, and it's been winning games for me. Chris was cracking up last night because he watched the Tau game that we put up.
That game is great. If you guys haven't watched the game that George plays his demons against the Tau, definitely watch that game.
It's mainly because it shows the idea, and this is something I actually get from Chris a lot. Chris has beaten me many times when it seems like it's in the cards for defeat, and I've seen you come out and sway, kick me in the teeth in the back end, and that's what happened in the Tau match, and it was just like continuing to fight no matter what happens and not giving up and not getting tilted. And I managed to keep tri-pointing him to where I won the game in the very end, and just by being more familiar with tri-points, a lesson from James, a combat specialist, I've been able to achieve more paths to victory. And I think now the best part of training with Chris has been getting used to the Gene Stealer cult. So I'm really starting to get more aware of the Acolyte Flamers, particularly.
If you don't account for them and your opponent has them, it's a really useful tool.
I think it's not only because there's a lot of tricks with the cult where they can appear within 3 inches of you instead of the normal 9, and how they can shoot you immediately in the movement phase instead of in the shooting phase and basically get a double shooting, right? That's a big deal to learn from. And then also the 6-inch flamer, it's so easy in your mind to calculate your instincts as it's an 8-inch flamer, and you don't think of how powerful it is to be able to.
If it's shooting twice, you want to make sure you're ranging it.
Right. When they're pulling those wounds, you don't want to give them a second round of shooting in the shooting phase, so you want to pull your bodies out of that 6-inch range.
3 CP to shoot in the movement phase, so if you pull me out of that, you're costing me a lot of CP.
Right, exactly. So what's also interesting too is like with Plague Bearers, he can drop me below 20 in the movement phase so that he's free to shoot me without the -1 modifier in the shooting phase.
That's awesome.
That's another really big deal. So he was doing great. Like I had a -2 27-man Plague Bearer squad that he just annihilated with these Acolytes. I think that's another, just even the physicality of Acolytes, like when you look at them in your opponent's list, or you think like your instincts say, I can wipe those guys, or I'm not afraid of those tiny little toughest 3 models. But those rock saws can come in there like wrecking balls, even just the characters with the relics that you buff up on them. Come in there swinging super hard.
Primus, with the psychic power buffing him, he's got 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, rerolling all hits and wounds at strength 9.
Yeah.
With D3 damage.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, a knight, what's up? 75-point character coming in with 6 attacks, about to ready to do
For sure. What was super cool in that match, James, was in that game, I decided to trade warp time out for diabolical strength in the start of the game.
You traded for the healing power.
No, that was the power I traded with Chaos Familiar, but at the start of the game, instead of taking my default of warp time, I swapped that to diabolical strength.
I got you.
And I used that several times throughout the game on my Demon Prince of Khorne and also on Ahriman himself. And there was a moment where I needed to basically wipe all of his characters in one side of the table. And Ahriman took on 3 characters himself, diabolical strengthening himself, and he did 1 and 2 and 2 on the split between the 3 characters, and got all my wounds through. So 6 damage, 3 damage, and pulled off all 3 characters.
It was solid.
Wow.
It was pretty tight. While a Demon Prince took out a Patriarch and another character.
The Patriarch dying
from Smite,
that was the moment. Well, he got down to 2 wounds.
Oh yeah, so the Patriarch, so then the Demon Prince charged between a 4th character that Ahriman wasn't taking on and the Patriarch, and I charged in the Demon Prince of Slanesh the Herald of Slanesh, backing up the Demon Prince against his Patriarch. And because this Herald of Slanesh has a 2 damage weapon, I managed to take the last 2 wounds off the Patriarch and pile into the last.
Which had you not done,
right,
then the Primus would have turned around and eaten one of your characters.
Yep. So that was wild. I managed to take a backfield character he brought in, and I shot him down to one wound down. I'm talking about the character in the very back corner. He put a bomb in it to harass my backfield, and I managed to take him down with rapid fire cultists and veterans of the Long War and a charge to seal off the deal, and got that one final wound off in the combat. It was lucky because you were about to heal a buttload of wounds on him.
Yeah. I was going to heal. He heals D3 natural at the start of the turn. I would have spent my last heat to heal natural.
And that's such an easy thing to not ask your Gene Stealer opponent.
Yeah.
Like, can you heal? Can you automate? Yeah, like you just like don't like. Had he not rewarned me of such a thing, I would have left it alone.
George declared all of his charges. He'd done all the charges. And the cultists were in charge, and Joe was like, "Did you not want to charge this one wound guy?"
And I was like,
He does heal at the start of my turn.
I was like, he heals, and you can spin a command point, D3 heal more, motherfucker. Yeah, I charge him, Jesus. You just like, it's crazy.
Training.
Yeah, exactly. Through practice, though, like if you don't play some of these tricky armies like Eldar and Gene Stealer Cult, and hell, even just like if you're not used to Bloodletter bombs popping in your face or to jumping boys, there's so many mechanics in the game. Blood Angels not having Overwatch. There are lots of things that don't have Overwatch.
Yep.
I know that has shut me down a few times when expecting to be able to Overwatch, not be able to.
It's not super important against your list, but I literally have 2 sources of that in my army.
Dude, we got Ice Wolf tuned in. I haven't seen Ice Wolf in forever. What up, buddy? Good to see you, man, all the way from the Hollands. I know Toby jumped in. It's good to see you, Ice Wolf. We're rolling in the green screen dice tray every day, man.
Oh, dude, that thing's great.
Ice Wolf is the fantastic designer. I know that you're a amazing printer yourself. He has an awesome resin printer and whatnot. I wonder what kind of cool projects you're up to, Ice Wolf. Haven't heard from you in a while. Shoot some cool ideas over to the old Discord. Love to see what you've been up to. Having 2 jobs at the moment. Yeah. 3 a.m. over there. Yeah, we get it, buddy. It's good to see you, man. It's just good to feel your energy at the same time that we're live here. Episode 67. We're almost to that sexy episode in the future.
Wow, it's kind of sexy, huh?
Yeah, episode 69.
Hey, think about this. What weekend is that?
Wait,
what's this?
Is it Nova Weekend? No.
No way.
Dude, I think it might be.
I think I can access a calendar.
Does that mean that we have to not?
Wait, 68, 69. No, it'll be
it'll be the
22nd.
Just okay. Well, you know what?
Yep.
22nd.
That's just some foreplay for Nova.
Oh, you know what you just reminded me of, though, looking at dates? I sent an email out to our buddy Pitspawn, but I haven't got an email back. He is our latest and greatest Patreon supporter to get a reward. So he's going on a Battlegrounds shopping spree. Or Tabletop Alchemy, we can definitely hook you up with some 3D printed gear. Yep, Chris did get some movement trays. It's an enjoyable experience.
I like it.
But yeah, we're stoked that he's going to get a $150 shopping spree for being a $20 Patreon supporter. So that is our top tier supporter. Big thank you to that. And then, of course, every month we'll be giving away more good, awesome gear to our friends. So look forward to that. Yeah, definitely look forward to that.
Woo!
Yeah, we got some dice in too. If you wanted to, Pitspawn, you got the opportunity to get some dice. I think we're actually, to everybody that's a $20 supporter, we're sending out a set of dice because, man, I just feel really grateful to those people. It's not in our rewards packet, but yeah, the teals have already been bought out, so you can't get any of those fancy Alpha Legion teals. They're already pretty much gone.
Dude, they're gone already?
Yeah,
wow.
Dude. Well, Kevin got them, and then somebody else got them, and yeah. It went quick. We didn't get, when you pick 5 colors, you don't get a whole bunch of each when you only get a 500 dice order. So, but if you guys keep grabbing up dice, we'll get more and wait 10 weeks for them to get made. Because it takes time. Will do. Still see most not live on channel. See the camera stand a lot. Yeah. So yeah, we're just having some. How do you become a patron? Toby's asking. Well, if you look right at the bottom of the screen there at the patreon.com/warpchargegaming, we have a $1 tier $5, $10, and $20. $1 is just like a high five you want to support, and that's awesome. We really appreciate it. $5, and you get a $50 shopping spree whenever your name's selected through the number of patrons we have based on when you signed up.
It does go in order?
Yep. And if you are a $10 sub, then you actually can get a $100 shopping spree when your name's selected. And whenever it goes back through the list and gets to your name again, typically about a 12-month rollover, then you're going to get a $25 extra on top of your usual payout. And on the third time around, another additional 25, so plus 50. If you're a $20 sub, you get 150 right out of the gate, 175 the next time, and 200 the next time around. So we're giving out a couple $100 a month to people that support us on Patreon, and luckily, we have reached the bare minimum of supporters to not bleed ourselves dry with that support system. Because we were hopeful that that would be good enough, and we are very thankful to those that have stuck with us, because we've gotten about 23 patrons, and they have stuck with us from the day one, and that's kept us alive there. So we've stopped the bleed. We're able to pay for our website that hosts all the cool shirts that James puts up, and basically kind of pay the base operating costs to make all this happen. So that's happy. Just still trying to scrounge and live to pay the bills, but yeah, making it. We're loving life. Hood rich on gaming. We could use some more though. James is laughing half-heartedly because we are starving artists.
Hey, well, we're living the dream, right?
We're living the motherfucking dream, dog. You know, speaking of the dream, check out this tournament series that we're running.
Hazard stripes.
Right, James put this together. He's our digital artist and artist extraordinary in general. But yeah, Battle in the Warp Season 2, it kicked off with our major event that went down just last month. And James traveled all the way to Chicago from that. He's about to fly down again to go to Nova Open with us. And this weekend is Kill Team. I'm really excited because I've been doing a lot of training. I hope for the sake of our community that there's not an odd number of players. So I'm going to go in there and just wreck face. Sorry. And then August 17th, we're doing 40K trios. So we're going to simulate the trios event that's at Nova. We basically have been doing Nova everything up since last month.
I may even be longer than that as far as I've been.
You got to train, man. And the fools have switched the missions on us about 3 or 4 times at this point.
For anyone who's attending the Nova that has been checking out that packet periodically, I know you feel our pain, because like literally every time I get a game in, something's different. Yeah,
it's like literally like you played the game that day and they're like, oh, the rules changed. Like, we just played a game today. Yeah, so we're back to, it used to be that, you know, they have at Cull the Hordes 20 models. They did switch it to 25, now they went back to 20. They had Moment of Bloodshed where you kill 2 models in a turn. They switched it to 3, now they switch it back to 2, but troops don't count.
Primaries back up to 18 after they dropped it down to 12 from 18.
Yep. Same thing with Progressive being a slightly change. And then they changed Strike the Rank and File, where it was just get a point for every troop you killed. Then they changed it to every 25% of their troops. Yep. And now it's you got to kill 2 troop units a turn.
It's like Moment of Bloodshed, but troops.
Yep. But you can't pair Moment of Bloodshed now with Strike the Rank and File or Mark for Death. Yep. Or Mark for Death. You can't pair Mark for Death with Strike the Rank.
A lot of nuance changes.
How many points you can get for max.
Yeah. And then the thing that's silly is that they make these changes and they say final changes to the packet is the most latest update, but yet on the score sheets and on the missions themselves, they didn't change it to reflect what the main packet states.
Yeah, they still say like 12 primary points.
Yeah, it's like, my God, people.
It's like,
We don't have the trios missions in their finality. It says on the trios missions on page 11 that go to the next pages to see the missions. But there's no further pages. I've emailed Nova twice about that. They said they're getting back to me when the trios team responds. I know there's a lot going on. It's a volunteer-based charity event, but I'm still a little frazzled, especially since we're doing Nova trios 2 weeks from now as a simulation primer, and we don't have the event packet yet. So, yeah.
I mean, I get the volunteer stuff, but it's like when you put your heart into it, you got to put your heart fully into it, because you have, hundreds, almost thousands of people traveling.
Oh, there's
to
thousands.
that event.
There's thousands of people there. There's hundreds of people playing in the GT.
Yeah,
there's thousands of people at the event.
Yeah, and like I know I'm spending easily $1,000 that week.
Yeah, I think there was 2,800 people last year, to be exact, and this year was the fastest sellout. Like the hotel sold out before tickets even went on sale, and that never happened. So yeah, it's crazier than ever. And they expanded their tables this year for the GT.
Shout out to Coastal Wargaming.
Yeah. Shout out to Coastal Wargaming, our
They
good
were able to
buddies.
facilitate bringing in a bunch more terrain for the Nova.
For sure. I'm excited about that to see them there and getting to shine. We got Ice Wolf. How many points with Commanders Elites? I am also hooked on Kill Team and building some nice lists. Kill Team is fantastic, and I'm glad that you fell in love, Ice Wolf. So there's basically 3 modes of play. You have Kill Team Standard, you have Kill Team Elites, and then you have Kill Team Commander. But those aren't necessarily the modes of play I meant. I guess there's quite a bit actually, because on top of that there's Arena. So there's like 4 sets of play. Now, Elites has now been kind of considered on the global level to just be a part of the game. So it is the game. Commanders is the part where you're playing an expansion and is not typically seen in match play. Elites inside the Elite rulebook is played at 125 points. Bay Area Open and the SoCal Open are doing 125-point Elite kill teams, but at Nova Open, they're doing Kill Team Elites at 100 points, which is pretty interesting. Kill Team Commander is typically played at 200 points, where some missions are specific to require a commander and some are not. So you can sometimes just field a 200-point commander kill team without using a commander at all. So 100, 125, 200, Kill Team Elites is always happening, typically at 100 points or 125, and then you're only playing Commander in a narrative or in certain circumstances match play. We certainly do Commander Kill Teams here at Battlegrounds. I don't really have much problem with it in a match play setting, but when you're talking about large prizes and a major GTs and stuff like that. James, speaking of large prizes, dude, we saw a $10,000 kill or 40K tournament launch, 144 players.
Dude, the tickets actually went live today.
Oh, really? Surely they're sold out. I don't think many people know about it. I've never heard of this group. Done by, I think it was like Revised something. It was a company that went all in Atlanta on the esports movement and created an amazing facility that looks like a huge budget facility with tons of like plush gamer chairs, like speakers in them and shit, and all these decked out like monster computers and like, you know, LEDs in your chairs and shit. It looked like a fancy facility that they're going to hold a major 40K event in. First place gets $5,000.
That's awesome.
Second place, 2,500. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it's a big money is coming in, you know, and I'm excited for it in as far as what it does for the hobby and the precedents it states. But it also takes away from kind of where the little guys can make a name for themselves.
I posted a link in chat.
Yeah, Pro Tabletop. Good call. So I'm pulling it up on the screen too to check out. But what do you think about this stuff, James? As far as what it means for the community, the world, the meta.
Dude, I think it's pretty amazing. I mean, they have 144 spots, only 46 tickets left. It's $200 a ticket. But the thing is you're getting a battle mat that's like branded to them and how they're going to do things. You get a T-shirt, objective markers, which are the neoprene, like the mouse pad material, like 6.5 inch circles.
Oh, they're going to do that kind?
Yeah, they're doing those.
Oh, those are sexy, and they're doing so much branding there, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is they want to keep it like esports. So, like, this year they're doing ITC missions, but, like, next year they were talking about doing, like, esport terminology, like Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, Team Deathmatch type of thing.
Okay.
So that those would be the missions. And they're doing 3 days. Both day 1 and day 2 are 6 games. Day 3, though, is 2 games, but only people that are playing the second game is the final table. And it's going to be like, it's supposed to be like a spectator sport the way they're trying to make it, so that everyone there watches the final match and then they do prize support, so that everyone sees it on stream. They're going to be streaming 3 games at a time. But what's interesting about their mats is instead of it being like scenic, they're having a grid on it, and they're having the placement where the terrain goes. They're having the placement where the pre-measured objective markers go for each mission, so that everything is exactly where it is, so no one can cheat as far as like your movement. You can see it. It's pretty interesting how they're doing it. They're definitely taking a giant leap into making this a bigger thing that's seen on TV or, well, streaming. And I think it's going to hold some ground connected with the ITC and people's scores, because what I thought was very interesting is the way they're doing deployment is where you rank in your ITC is going to be how you're seated. So, like, at every table, there's a red and a blue side. And red is always the person seated under blue. And when you have that, you have the choice to go first. And whoever goes first deploys their whole army first, and then you can seize the initiative.
So basically, being higher ranked literally gives you a game disadvantage.
Yes.
That's pretty wild. Are you
And then
seeing
the
these? Are you seeing these images, James? I mean, this venue is nuts, man.
It's like very officey meets like land center.
You know, the AC in there is perfect.
What's also pretty crazy is the way they're going to do deployment maps. Is they're only using 5 deployments. They are not using Vanguard because of the way their terrain is set up. It doesn't make it optimal for line of sight blocking, so they got rid of Vanguard completely. And then what they did is made a ban system. So like in online gaming, the person that's the lower seed bans one of the deployments first. Like if you're going against Tau, you're like, well, I don't want to do Hammer and Anvil. I want it gone. And then the next person gets to ban a deployment, whatever they don't like. So then they get rid of that, and then they roll on a D3 to pick the deployment.
Whoa, I like all these things. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, no, they have some pretty neat concepts. I'm surprised it didn't sell it right away, considering the prize support. Every table is using a chess clock, so no matter what, you're using a chess clock, and they have it stated everywhere. And then like they give you a halftime, a 5-minute halftime in between your game on like turn 3, so that you can calculate the score and everything. The way they're doing judging is every like 6 to 8 tables is going to have their own judge that walks back and forth and checks the thing. And when you need to call a judge, you call them on Discord. So and then everything that the judge like says and does, and the whole problem is on Discord. So no one can say he said, she said stuff.
Whoa.
Because like there's money stakes.
Damn, dude. I'm impressed.
Oh, I'm very impressed.
Wow, I'm starting to look at the terrain setup and shit. And they went all out.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that immersive, like, scenic stuff that you're used to when you're playing at, like, Nova or Adepticon. But it's going to be very standardized, no randomness at all. It's all going to be who's the better player. And you're having seeding with your ITC ranking, so I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is really cool, man. And I mean, I'm just impressed with the fact they have a website dedicated to it. It's all highly organized and real crisp and clean, and they've just taken a very professional approach. And I think it just shows what happens when you have the power of kind of finances behind you to be able to have people working on stuff like this.
Definitely,
that's impressive, man.
The only thing I have my criticism to is their day 3 setup, because someone that travels, that has flights. You don't want to necessarily like wait all day long that last day when you can get headed home early, especially if you drove. Like I think it's just like oof. You got like you play one game on Sunday and then you just watch a game, just another 3 hours, and then you have awards which takes longer to set up, and then you get to head home. Like I just know what it's like going to big events and traveling, and it's something that like if I can get a jump start on it, I will. Especially if I'm not going to win anything as far as prize support. Another thing is they penalize you if you drop.
Good.
If you drop your game, they have a right to not allow you to come back next year.
Yeah, I can dig it. I'm kind of for as big money as they are, like they must really. I mean, I think the facility is kind of really tied into the equation of this event and where probably a lot of that backing comes from. Because why would you want to cap such an event? With such a high prize support, they would obviously like to recoup as much as possible, which they're limited by their capacity of people. So I think the venue has got to be pretty impressive / a part of the equation of this being able to happen in the first place.
Yeah, I wish them the best this year. I wish I could make it. I mean, if I would have known about it sooner, I would have prepared for it, because that is going to be a giant financial dump. I mean, when you talk about a $200 ticket, then you got to think about travel, room and board. And it's like, this is a 3-day event, so you're talking about like rearranging like work stuff so that you can actually go to this. Like, if you're not trying to go into Warhammer like a professional status, this is a hard event to go to unless you have that kind of extra cash, extra free time. But I wish them the best, man. I plan on going the next year after.
That'd be awesome. I mean, especially Atlanta is one of those that since they lost their battle bunker years ago or whatever it was, at least I'm not one of the Atlanta locals, but it's nice to see their scene kind of make a recovery.
Yeah, I mean, ATC's been in the mind's eye as the big one. I feel like LVO is pulling at me more than ATC, even though that concept seems really fun. The venue doesn't like blow me away though. When you like, you know, people.
Vegas?
No, the ATC.
Okay.
It's usually like this big giant, like kind of barricadey, bunkery place that it's almost like a gymnasium, but it seems like apparently people just describe it as a very hot environment with.
It's a gymnasium.
It just looks pretty. It looks pretty bare bones.
I've been told by people attending before that you want to be careful on your drinking because it gets warm enough that you could like go harder than you mean to.
Exactly. Yeah.
ATC is one of those things I would like to do, but it's just too hard to organize because I mean you need 5 people to go, and if you're not local enough, like that last minute someone cannot make it, and then you're just stuck without somebody. And when you're traveling and room and board and stuff, it's difficult. Where LVO, I mean, you're in Vegas. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like fuck it at that point. Yeah, that's almost kind of the scary part is you're like, I could game. I could just go walk around Vegas.
I would love going to LVO for the sheer fact that, like, how fast my army plays. Like, I typically have, like, 3 hours in between games.
Right.
So, it'll be great to enjoy Vegas and then participate in a Warhammer event. Like, what? Mind blown, dude.
Yeah, I feel that. You know, that's kind of the wild thing we were talking about, or at least I was just ranting at like 2 a.m. on the chat the other night. But I discovered after doing the math that I'm actually going to be playing a minimum of 15 games at Nova of Kill Team.
You're drunk.
Besides the trios.
Speaking of being drunk, I have a drink over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You got them. Cheers. But yeah, 15 games minimum. The last 3 rounds of the GT for Kill Team will be best 2 out of 3, so I could play up to 18 games of Kill Team on top of the 3 trio matches. So pretty wild. And speaking of games, we roll dice in games, and I just pulled up these pictures. Check out the lineage of Warp Charge Gaming dice. I'm just excited. I've been collecting 2 of each. And it's pretty cool just because this is a part of our growth. We're still going. We're still around.
Oh, man, I'm counting up the ones that are missing out of my set.
Ah, yeah. And now, like, some of these we can't get anymore. Like
It's funny. The 4 on the right are the only ones I don't have.
Oh, wow. I'll give you some of these yellow-orange ones.
It doesn't matter.
If you guys like collect the limited edition stuff, some of these are limited editions. Some might be reprinted, but some are very limited.
Yeah. That purple and teal one, everybody wants that, and we tried to get it again. I would like to have more, but they are no longer available in this current time period. We just ran out of those teal in the middle. They really do pop, those beautiful teal-colored ones. I wish we would have got more of those. The ones I probably did like the least were the orange and yellow ones, honestly.
They blend very well into the
orange
vortex green and the orange when you have them in a pile.
Yeah.
They like kind of blend all together, like they're the mid-tone. But yeah, they're probably not the greatest.
I didn't love the blue and white ones either. Too spearmany.
I have a few of those. I don't know. I felt like I was gonna like them more than I did.
The black and gold and the black and silver.
Awesome.
It's cool because those two go together in just a cool way. I like that.
Those 3 sets we have at the tail end, barring the set that is obviously new, are like my 3 go-to sets whenever I dice.
Yeah, I still love Classic Orange. Those are hella exclusive. But here, just because we don't order them besides for the stream, here's a big pile of all the dice when they came in. You can see all those teal are already gone. So if you guys want any, they're right on our website, warpchargegaming.com. Just go to the store. You can get our shirts there as well, and we certainly appreciate it. If you live far away, I hope the shipping isn't too much. We still appreciate you. Here is the latest and greatest project that Chris has been working on. We just put these on stream.
I took a break from actually another project I was working on because I was like, I'm pretty sure I have enough bits that if I wanted to have 20 Wizzy or an outlet squad that had the max number of WYSIWYG rock saws that I could do it. And I do. Actually, I could probably make a few more if I wanted to.
Nice.
Rock Saw Live.
Got it done. Speaking of cool projects, here's this badass Discordant that James showed live last week. Whoa, you got the speaker on there too?
So cool.
Dude, that speaker looks dope.
Yeah, I've printed 4 of them now.
Oh, man.
I keep having fails on this keg that I'm trying to print because I actually, like, last week I had clogs on both printers and I was really, really sad. But I put in the time this week, got them both running pristine, and this model for the keg, because of the shape of it, and it builds on a raft, it keeps getting knocked off halfway through. So I've been just keep trying to get this keg because I want a bunch of kegs on there, beer bottles. I'm going to do a little like concert flyers, maybe do some PVA condoms. I don't know.
It looks dope, man. it's hard not to just want to stare at. And I love music, and I wish I would have thought of it first.
Cool story, bro. Kevin Leonard, the mastermind behind this kit bashing, he posted one picture in one group besides us showing it off here, and someone created a model on Thingiverse and even used their photo or his photo for like his inspiration to create his 3D image. So it's very interesting because it's just such a cool model. Like, I'm in love with it.
Awesome.
I can't wait to put some cheetah print on it.
I hope you join us at SoCal. Yeah, I'm not there yet, Steven. I will definitely have to. It'll be a next year thing. We've been happy to go to Adepticon 2 years in a row now, all the way in Chicago. We got James coming to Nova. So we've done good at taking our 2 main localized tournaments and getting each other to go to them. And now we need to evolve to LVO status.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. LVO is the next one. But honestly, after
SoCal, yeah.
This Atlanta Open, man, it might take me over that instead of just because I want to see the sport. Or not the sport, but like the game grow on like that level.
I really feel like that's the pulse on the trigger right there, or whatever, however you want to say it. Finger on the pulse.
Into like EA level sports broadcasting is definitely something that we haven't seen yet. I think it's kind of been the goal with seeing growth since Adepticon grew out of the fledgling 5th and a few other addition changes. That's definitely the way to attack it. I mean, and the way they're presenting it, it's not like they're going to be lacking for stream breaks.
Oh, dude, I agree. I mean, LVO is LVO. It doesn't need any help. It doesn't need any support. That thing's going to continue to grow every year as more people jump into this hobby. But this one's going to take it to the next level. And some of these amazing players that play in ITC deserve to get paid, and that's how much time and dedication they put into it.
So we need someone here to play the most cheese dick shit possible so we can get enough money to actually be able to afford to go to California. And like Bobby's like, fly to England or fly to London. We'd love to. But James first needs to go win his $5,000 at this Atlanta Open here or something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's definitely a place I'm not taking Corn to. That's for sure.
You see what Bobby said in the comments? He said bring your own terrain though, because the London GT was it made ripples across the world. Let's say. Yeah. Bring Tau to London. You'll do fine. They don't have terrain, James.
I get it, bro. Nah, dude. London ain't paying out, bro. They're not going to cover the plane ticket alone. I need to go to Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
So
I need to get that $5,000.
Do you think, though, that the way that you've suggested that they're going to handle drops is the best way? I'm not looking to change their opinion.
I think it's the most time-saving way. Alternate is, I believe, the best way because it's more, like, tactitional because you don't know who really goes first, but by knowing who goes first, and then saying, hey, deploy it all at once, it's going to save time. It also makes that seize the initiative that much more juicy.
Yeah.
Because if you're me, and I know that I'm already going second, I might as well say, fuck it, I'm going on seize the initiative, because then they're all up online everywhere I want them to be. And, like, I'm going to go for broke. It's like taking, like, $5,000 and just putting it on black. Let it ride.
Well, if you're rolling for a 6, it's a little bit less than put it on black, but
you know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Maybe getting better there. 36 numbers. I love roulette.
Oh man.
That was my game. I used to live in Reno, Nevada, and I would go gambling about 3 times a week to the cheapest joint in town. Play with quarters, not dollars.
I was always more of a poker player.
Poker's a lot of fun.
Dude, I enjoy roulette, man. You can just watch those boards, play the outside 12.
Yeah. I definitely had my own methods as well. Good times for sure. The feeling of hitting the number when you like really intuitively felt it was the number. There was one time where I had $1 left, and it was like the last dollar, and like the dealer, like it's like a minimum of 5, but the dealer's like, fine, go ahead. And he fucking landed the black 36 and got myself 36-1. It was so cool. It was only like $36, but it was. I was back in the game, baby. Give me another free drink. Keep it going. I hear they don't do that as much anymore in Vegas and whatnot.
I've heard that they've cut it back a lot of places. People would go in there with the intention of abusing it, which, I mean...
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that was like the whole game, yeah.
Like,
Get free drinks at casinos. They usually would feed that to you while you played. And, like, you just play, like, penny slots. And you just sit there and
I've heard, like, for Atlantic City, like, my friends that live close to Atlantic City have said that it's really hard to get a drink on the penny slots.
Yeah, that makes sense. They've wised up, I believe. So Ice Wolf brought up an interesting and very fair point as a talking subject is, did we already discuss how GW came up with new ways to make lots more money? First up, we got the Space Marine Codex that's about to drop, and that just came out of nowhere.
Man, I mean, it seems like we're getting more 2.0 codexes.
Right, yeah, and yes, you need more books now, which, of course makes the money, but then I thought he was talking about, I didn't even think about the Space Wolf book, but they also, Space Marines, but they also just jumped out a price increase.
Yep.
They just did a big price hike on many of their packs.
Which is interesting because proportional profits, I was reading an article someone had on, I don't know if it was 40K or competitive 40K or spiky bits, but they'd had higher like profit margins the last 2 years running. So like it kind of raises the question what the price hikes are accounting for.
Oh yeah, because like record year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, are they trying to bleed this dry? Is more going into some kind of R&D? Who knows? But at the same time, I don't know. People are salty about it.
They're trying to bleed us dry. That's what's happening. Nah, man. I'm actually kind of excited about these new Space Marine releases. It sounds crazy, but like this whole prefix suffix, like advanced tactics, like granted you have to have your Space Marine Codex and your supplement Codex, but I have to read how they're going to do this whole like make your own chapter, because that seems broken as hell. And I will definitely make a Warcraft gaming chapter and go ham on some people if I'm allowed to, because we're just basically going to be a subchapter of Alpha Legion, and we're just going to play vanilla stuff, and we're going to have some Chaos Gods happening. I don't know.
I mean,
they've
seems
done
reasonable.
creature creation rules and tank creation rules in previous editions that didn't make it to like quote unquote match play. I kind of wonder if that's what it's going to be, but at the same time, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I know that just based off some of the stuff we've seen leaked, there's a lot of good units, man. There's already people who are latching on to really effective combos.
Primaris got a Rhino.
Yep. That's the thing.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, people have been staying tuned and nobody said anything, but I had one of my camera mics on for the longest time this whole time. Surely it sounded a little echoey and shitty out there, but nobody said anything, so maybe it was fine. I'm just curious now. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we're just having a conversation. I can tell me it sounds like shit. Probably sounds a lot better now. I'm just saying.
I don't know, because I have YouTube muted.
No, you're talking to us direct. Well. What do we got here? So plastic will make more than gold in a few years. Agreed. There was a rumor ages ago that they were building the company before fully selling it off.
Too much of a cash cow right now. I mean, I'm not saying that's not.
Oh yeah, dude, they're making hella profits, dude. I can't wait to see their a half year or quarterly
their quarterly
revenue. It's gonna be insane, bro.
Yeah, I mean there was kind of some hints, like it was a weird, like prophetic, vague video they put out that kind of hinted towards potentially endless spells in 40K.
Yes. Okay, so there was
that gets me excited.
There was like something that got leaked that looked like it was more 40K-ish, and because of the size, and I don't even remember what it was. But
it was just like promo video style, where it's like, they only show you like a silhouette.
Something looked like an endless.
Oh, you're talking about the Psychic Awakening?
Yep.
Yeah, what is that?
Same tease.
Yeah.
Oh, that is rumored to be endless spells for 40K.
That'd be dope. Some people, there's a lot of people that like to be, a nihilist or somebody that just like hates on everything, basically.
Contrarian?
Yeah, contrarian. There's a lot of contrarians I run into.
I don't like or hate endless spells. I haven't
They're
tried
like,
to play with them.
fuck you, GW. You're trying to just make money and putting stuff in my game.
They have the new blast templates.
I think they're cool, man. Because I love them at Sigmar, and I think that they are just great, cool models. And why not have cool new rules? And,
hey, if that's a way for Khorne to have psychic powers, I'm down.
Yeah, dude, gets fucking bleeding eyes.
Okay, the way I see it, like for Gene Stealer Cult anyway, like the little familiars, those are literally made of psychic energy. Like they're not even a real thing. So like, why not endless spells? It's the
Come
same
on.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, like the Slanesh one is super tight too, where it's like the head, and there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Kind of same
That's
thing.
true. I didn't even think about that. They could just literally port the demon ones over. They
Yeah,
wouldn't have to make new
boop.
ones.
I mean, they could do it so easily. And then there's all. I was expecting the demons ones first and foremost. You know, I wouldn't even really
I
think
was
about the other
definitely
ones.
expecting like brand new 40K stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? They should be able to sell both kits, I would think. I like the model of intermixing their models in multiple game systems. I want them to continue that trend because it's a positive in the consumer side of things, and we don't get many of those, and it makes me play more games.
Well, so like for example, like with my new conversion cult project or conversion project for my Gene Cult army, I want to have access to multiple Necromunda games in there. With that one army, I could literally walk up to you or a pickup game player and be like, "Hey, you haven't played Necromunda before? Like, here's an army we can play."
Right.
Like, I think there's a lot of value in that, even if Necromunda isn't specifically the game that is the most, come play Necromunda. Like, nah, But at the same time, I think it's cool.
Yeah, Toby said on the chat there that he's painting up Warcry right now, and that's one of those games that I'm watching, I'm observing closely from afar. I have a little bit of hesitation after Shadespire and Age of Sigmar Champions, 2 games that I wanted to be successful that just were not. And
Shadespire for a while I thought was going to grow into something bigger, but
Me too.
Then it kind of got intercepted by other similar projects.
Kill Team dropped.
Kill
and
Team really,
it was,
I think, kind of murdered it.
and, yeah, Kill Team murdered it, and it was also the card chase.
Yeah,
card
chase was real.
It's so much cooler, like working a shift at Battlegrounds or whatever, and I'm like, oh, versus if you want to play this game competitively, you need to buy all of these factions. Where if you want to play Kill Team, you buy the Elite book, and you buy the core book. You're good.
When we were getting into Shadespire, I mean, I was playing the Skaven. I bought Orcs and someone else, Dwarves.
Yeah.
Just because there was cards I needed. I was like, I guess I have these models now.
It's a freaking creep, At least the cool thing is some of these Shadespire models can be used in Warcry. And so that's got me excited because
all the Warcry models that I've seen are really cool.
They are really dope models, and the game looks cool too. Yep, yeah, and that's what Toby's echoing right now. The most I like from Warcry is the Binblade.
But you mentioned dropping a lot of money on army. What are you working on? It looks like, I guess, Chaos?
Yeah, Occult, Acolytes, Great Zangors.
Some conversions and stuff.
Zinch, yep. Nice. I've been enjoying bringing the Thousand Suns back into my arsenal.
I think your list is good.
It's nice. I really like the Demon Princes, running those again too. Those, man, it is fun to clean up house with a bunch of characters.
Dude, when you cross the board to cleave my characters, like I kind of, on some level I knew it was coming, but I was still hoping like maybe one of my characters will sneak out and I'll get to kill one of yours back.
You got an 11-inch charge when your Acolytes came in with the Rock Stars, and he almost murked 2 of my Demon Princes,
we actually
if
had to
not
replay
more.
that combat because I don't understand close combat well enough.
A little bit of a botch, yeah. A model with, it's not a default distance, it's being within an inch of a model within an inch.
Yeah, it's within an inch of a model within an inch. I was doing it 2 inches off the back of a model, which gave me way more attacks.
that is really far.
Cheating son of a bitch.
Well, we started to roll it and the results, and then he was like, "This rock side's out of range." I was like, "What do you mean it's out of range?" Like, I gave him my interpretation. He was like, "That's not the way it works." I was like, "Oh, I've got to reroll all of this."
So that was interesting.
Wow.
I did end up losing a Demon Prince to that situation.
You still lost, you lost the Thousand Suns Demon Prince,
Yep.
the Kairos.
Yep.
Now, are you giving your Demon Prince a 3-up invul?
No.
That would not happen now.
Are you giving your Zangors a 4-up invul?
Sometimes.
When I can, yeah. The fun thing though is, man, I charged him turn 1, failed the charge, took his turn 1 shooting, and then still kept him alive and tied up in combat over an objective all the way till turn 4.
That's awesome.
Into turn 5.
James, you're a tactically minded person. I actually have a tactics question for you. Maybe.
All right.
So, right now I have a mixed cult detachment. It doesn't get their cult benefits. It's just for the stratagems. And I take a Magus in a Brood Coven so I can run him as 4-armed Emperor. It unlocks, it doesn't unlock Agents of Vect for me because I have another model that's from that same High Fleet, but it does get me D3 CP because of that specific Warlord trait. So it's going to get me at least 1 CP and pay for the stratagem that gets me the extra Warlord trait, which also gets me a Warlord trait on another model. But I could trade the D3 CP for a Bladed Cog instead, and that Warlord trait for the Flamer bomb, the 20-man Flamer unit, I could give them for one turn, instead of D3 CP permanently, reroll all wounds against a specific target that I want to Flamer. With Strength 3 on the Flamers, I kind of start to wonder whether...
I think it's clutch. I think it's clutch myself.
Dude, the fact that you're asking me this question makes me question you.
It's definitely the reroll wound. I just don't want to give up any CP because I spent so many pre-game.
Dude, less CP that you are planning on using is better. Like, you don't want to go to stratagems and stuff because, like, it can be denied by other people, or you can find yourself using CP on other things. But I'm pretty sure with Bladed Cog, don't you get like a field no pain or something?
Bladed Cog, they have a 6-up invuln, but I won't be getting it particularly because that would force this Flamer blob to be in a different detachment that would make them mixed.
It's mainly, but it's just the reroll wounds though, because it adds so much value to that unit.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, especially when I'm averaging, like 60 hits.
And the main deal is that you do it in the Plague Bearer meta with so much minus modifiers, it just wrecks them over. But when your 5's the wound, you got to get a little more lucky.
I think that's the move.
I think it's definitely the sauce.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I actually bounced that off of 2 people prior, but I figured that whatever James said was probably the way I was going to land.
Well, I'm just thinking about Nova missions, and like, yeah, like you can now put those on more like variety of targets. Because most things you're going to be wounding on 5s, some things you're going to be wounding on 6s. So it's like, man, if you can reroll all your wounds even though on 6s, like, man, that's a big deal.
Unfortunately, would cost that blob their fearless source.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
How many big blobs are you running?
Just 2 blobs at the moment. Only 2 20-mans.
Would they both have this ability to use a stratagem?
Only one of them would have it.
One of them.
Only one.
One of
but
them.
the other one will have the fearlessness.
Yes.
But they will. Okay. Then, yeah, it doesn't matter then because you are going to use 2 CP to pass that.
That's
like,
fair.
yeah, you might jump 3 CP on them. If you're making these guys, like, pop up in them, you might be throwing, like, 9 CP at this unit. But that unit might clear something clutch. Or you don't need to use all that because you're using that unit different ways, and now you have those resources somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the way I gotta change my list. Makes me sad to do, but I'll do it. I mean, Bladed Cog is kind of the one that's my favorite cult, so, like, adding a model for that cult is nice, but...
Sure. Yeah.
And you're adding another unit you can use Vect if the other one gets killed.
Well, I already... The Sniper, because he's in a mixed attachment, it won't get a benefit. I just always run the Sniper as the Agents of Vect cult.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he dies, you can't run it anymore. You can't use that stratagem.
Yeah.
So like, this now gives you 2 units that you can run that stratagem off of.
Well, I'd have to. I'd be going down to 1, and 1 would just be a Warlord trait. Instead of a stratagem, so that's... The reroll all wounds is more reliable. It can't be countered.
No, I'm referring to the Agents of Vect, or whatever it's called. You have 2 units to cast that, or use that stratagem off of. Yeah. And I think that's more clutch if you're going against someone who's combo eccentric, like fighting twice Zangors.
Oh, dude, no, absolutely.
Like, if those the models that the Zangors get into, and they want to fight twice, and you're like, ha ha.
I mean, I was very happy in my last game against Connor to be like, he did his blitz on Solitaire and came in and wiped his first target, and he was getting ready to fight twice, and I was just silent waiting for him to be like, oh, yep, Agents of Vect.
Yeah. Yeah. God, yeah. That's where you got to stay sharp, man. Practice makes perfect because it's so easy to just not be having that kind of stuff at the front of your mind.
I mean, I told him at the game start, I was like, I have this strategy.
I know, it's crazy. I know, but that's the thing is like I knew your weapons were 6 inches, but I still stayed in range for you to shoot me a second time in the shooting phase, even though I didn't have to.
Dummy.
Yeah, but like the more you practice and kind of go through those motions of a bad beat because you forgot something, the more in a high pressure situation like a major event for $5,000 or whatever, you don't fuck up.
Dude, I mean, I really want to see the Atlanta event sell out. I mean,
yeah.
I know they're.
I don't see how they won't.
I don't see how they won't either, but I'm excited just to see the footage.
Me too. I mean? Yeah, me too. I'm excited in general. for what it means. But yeah, Nova around the corner. That's super exciting. If you are local to the area here in Richmond, Virginia, and like Battlegrounds, check out this cool shirt. I had to show you. James,
I like it.
James produced this over the course of the week there. Got some custom dice and axe. And
So I think the slate gray is my favorite color rendition on that.
yeah, they get it, whatever color. It's fantastic, though. I do enjoy this here shirt. And if you want to represent Battlegrounds, you feel free to get one when we get them finalized and ready to buy. Just felt like saying that. Also, anybody that watches this and is going to Nova Open, and if you want to represent Warp Charge, if you're not a salty bastard, and
We have shirts for people.
yeah, we have shirts that say "Don't be salty," but that I think that's the only rule, really. Honestly, like if don't be a bigoted dick, and also,
Well, listen, man.
I mean, you might, be a little bit if you want to be, but just don't be a salty bastard and make people have a bad time.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it as a tournament organizer. I have seen what it's like when two people don't have a good time because one person's salty as fuck. I've been there too.
I mean, dude, I can tell you, so, at Adepticon last time, I didn't have a good winning record. The only game that I really pulled out, I didn't have fun. Because, my opponent was, that much less prepared than I was.
Yeah.
But it was just, it wasn't a satisfying victory.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, catering to having that positive experience is so important.
It is, and that's kind of what I was building to, is just that taking fun seriously is not just for you, but also that your opponent has a good time. And I'd like for Warp Charge folks to do great and win, but make sure that people are having a great time at the same time. But if you want to represent Warp Charge at Nova, at the bottom of your account information, if you go to Tabletop or the Nova Tabletop Olympics, you can choose Warp Charge as your team, and the more people we get representing Warp Charge, the better we'll do in the Tabletop Olympics. Were you going to bounce off that, James?
I was just going to say the only time I've ever been salty is when I got Beck 6 3 times.
That happened a lot at the same Adepticon that I didn't do very well at.
I mean, that's the only time I got salty, just because, just bad luck. But, yeah, don't be salty, bro.
I mean, Bobby, that would be great, but that's just, it sounds, actually, so speaking on that, Bobby, my current goal list is to run about 120 alkylate hybrids. I have about 60, so I'm getting there.
And for Steven, it's all about the movement trace, man. I love playing with movement trace.
What is Steven asking about DD for Nova? You know what he means?
I'm not sure. What is your opinion with Warp Charge? Death Denied. He's talking about the kill team being a 3CP. Steven, I think that's fantastic. I am very happy about the 3CP for Death Denied. It's the Adeptus Astartes tactic where if somebody tries to take you out of action, you could just auto not die.
Yeah.
It was too powerful. It was interesting because at Adepticon, they wouldn't allow Death Denied. This was before Elites came out, though. And when Elites did come out, that's when they printed Death Deny and made it so that it's not just an expansion tactic that came in the box set. And at Nova Open, all things that are in print inside the core book, Arena, Elites, and the White Dwarfs are all legal, including Blackstone Fortress. And so Nova Open, Big Cleat, they made it so that it's 3 command points.
In their format.
Their format
Not
only.
Specifically in the rules, but they've just hot fixed the game. They decided to...
It's a little bit overpowered of a tactic. Yeah, it's just for Nova. So it's the thing, I mean, if you just don't die, if you save 2 CP per turn, that can be a game-winning mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
Some armies don't kill more than one thing a turn. If they can't kill it, then they're screwed. And we had a Adeptus Astartes win a commander tournament here at Battlegrounds with us using the Death Denied tactic. Bar none, they won the tournament due to that tactic. So I think 3 is a very good balancing act to that.
Fair.
Yeah. So
I was sad to learn today I came ready for kill teams only to realize that in every single list I made, I had a commander in my list because I didn't realize that all the characters for Gene Stealer Cults are commanders.
Yeah.
I was like, surely there's one that I could just run. No, there's not.
Yeah, if you guys, right after this talk show, I will go ahead and upload the kill team match that Chris and I played today. It was really, really fun, and I hope you guys check it out and enjoy it. Loving the demons.
I would have probably put up 2, even though the first game was not as good of a game, but we had some audio troubles, unfortunately.
Yeah, I forgot to turn the mics on. But I'm kind of nervous to show off the demons. You know, I just really am being selfish and want to win Nova. and I don't want anyone else to take them.
Just be very nondescript in your tactical breakdown until after Nova.
Yeah, I think we're pretty descript. Watch as they whoop ass and win. Oh my gosh, they're dangerous. They're very dangerous. Excited. James, anything else you'd like to cover before we get out of here?
I don't think so, man.
You
I think you kind of covered it all.
got your glove on, dude. You're about to go deep diving.
Dude, it's for holding things that I don't want to get my hand all nasty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right. Going places. Going deep.
Dark places.
Deep into places.
Whoa. Anyways, we got dice.
All kinds of dice.
Go get them now. We got t-shirts. That's a cool way to show some support and get some gear. Or we'll just straight up give you gear.
I really want to see more people rocking the orc shirt.
Yeah.
I still think that's my favorite shirt.
No kidding. I like the Colt shirt you came up with too. We saw that as prototypes. What the blip?
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is relevant today.
Yeah.
I mean, I could make it live at any time. I just
It's a good shirt.
didn't know if people wanted it.
I like it.
It's a good
I
shirt.
like it. It's the Cult. I think is conceptually, especially because of like IP stuff. Like you can't get as blatant with like copying their iconography and all that jazz.
Yeah. Check it out, Chris. Poxus says great show. Poxus is Todd from the. And you know him too, James. You played him. It's the Death Guard player you played in round 1 at the major tournament.
Okay.
And the one that you played later in the event.
Yeah, I think round 4.
Yeah, he had like the pale white
Butcher
old school
cannons,
Death Guard. Yep.
With the Leviathans
Good game.
and the Plague Witch Crawlers.
Yeah, he was in line to get the best painted.
Dude, his
Yeah.
army is beautiful.
It was super cool. Yeah.
It's like easily one of my I remember when you asked for help on the judging, he was one of 3 that I was like, this is obviously the top 3.
I might have him floating. He might not even be tuned in still. But yeah, we showed your army off on the talk show after the tournament, summarizing. Let me see if I'm so classy that I can grab it midstream. I don't think so.
So many images. Man.
Yeah, there's too many damn images up in here. Oh, you know what? I bet I know where it's at. But yeah, kind of covered the gamut, James. I think we're all satisfactory.
Yeah, man. I mean, Space Marines look cool. I just have to wait till the rules actually come out before I get all my speculating, because this whole like elite shock troop, whatever it's called, where they're getting all extra attack. Like if you're telling me my berserkers are getting 10 attacks per berserker, I'm gonna freak out.
Right.
Or like the Raven Guard, they have that unit where normally the captain gives +1 to the unit for shooting, but if he has the custom kind of bolt rifle, when he fires Overwatch, he just has to fire Overwatch, doesn't have to hit. Immediately after successfully firing Overwatch, his unit can make a fallback move before your opponent charges.
Oh
That's
my God.
gross.
Yeah.
Granted, there's ways to circumvent that, stop them from overwatching. People mentioned, I think it's Iron Hands, ? Maybe it's Imperial Fists. Their heavy bolter, like the cheapest version of Centurions, look really good, bro. On
Hell
paper.
yeah. I just threw up Todd's army there. Had to show it off one
with
more
the
time.
display board and everything.
Yeah, the display board was
hotness.
clutch. It was so good. Here's a look at James and Todd throwing down in match 1. I thought I was worried for James just because Todd's army looks very, very effective, but James was able to pull off some shenanigans and get it done there.
Yeah, I pinched some things. I was a little rough on him, but I was very scared also because Robles has that same exact list, and I've lost that list many times. So Todd was just gentle on me, very gentle, free hugs and everything.
Nice, nice. But yeah, guys, it's great to have you on the channel, Todd. I'm glad you joined us. And yeah, it's been a great episode. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will be back next week for episode 68. You catch the Kill Team episode we're going to post right after this, and then we got my Demons list versus a Slanesh Chaos Army and the match that Chris and I played today.
Also, once again, I watch a lot of 40K bat reps. the one that George played recently against Tao, one of the more entertaining ones.
Hell yeah.
It will probably make you laugh.
Hell yeah. It was pretty funny. Never give up, never surrender. Ice Wolf, great to see you, brother. Send us some cool pics of the latest things you've been printing, man. I'd love to see what you've been up to in your old hobby town. I know you're working the 2 jobs and everything. Bobby, thanks for tuning in all the way from London. But yeah, you guys rule. Catch you all next time. We'll see you next time and all that. Keep taking fun seriously.
Adios. Warp charged.
Go.